is Mr. Ron Crowder. Mr. Crowder is a case manager with Project COPE. And of course, Mr. Crowder will tell us the initials for the meaning for the initials of Project COPE later on during the show. First of all, let me welcome both of you, Ms. Denny and Mr. Crowder, to the show this morning.
Thank you.
And to indeed say that to talk about what we consider to be a very, very important topic this morning. And if you listen to the media, you understand that AIDS has had a tremendous impact, a tremendous health impact, not only on African Americans and other minorities, but on the entire American population. But today we want to deal with what minorities and AIDS. And of course, Ms. Denny, before we do that, let's have you for a second time, I think, because you were with us earlier on an earlier show, for the second time to give us some information about your background and your education and some of the things that were important in terms of leading you to one of the warriors in this great army against HIV and AIDS.
Well, my educational background stems from earlier my undergraduate degree in psychology at Howard University, and then I did my graduate work at Alabama A&M in Normal, Alabama, near Huntsville, also in psychology. I guess behavior, Dr. Haney, has always been an interest and a concern of mine, especially as it impacts people of color, with particular interest to African Americans. Young people, in addition, have been very important, near and dear to me, because I am a mother. I have 2 daughters. Coming to Nashville, initially working at Vanderbilt, I later became employed at Meharry for the Tennessee AIDS Education and Training Center, which is also affiliated with the Area Health Education Center's programs of Meharry. The mission of our program, which is funded by HRSA, is to train healthcare providers to keep them updated with the latest developments in HIV, with particular interest to minority health providers or providers who treat minority patients, meaning rural, underserved, African American, poor, or any of those different categories.
So it's just a broad definition of what is meant by minorities when we talk about minorities and AIDS. We're not specifically talking about a racial minority. We're talking about an economic minority and etc.
Exactly.
Okay, very
underserved,
good.
Underrepresented politically, in terms of underrepresented accessing health services.
In other words, these are the folks that we are unable to somehow reach with ease with the various means of communications that we have, that we can reach everybody else. These are the minorities.
Most readily, yes.
Mr. Crowder, what about you and your background and how you became involved with COPE, Project COPE? Talk about that organization.
Well, first of all, Project COPE is an African American outreach walk-in type clinic. And COPE is an acronym for Community Outreach for Prevention and Education of HIV and AIDS. Or how I became involved in the organization is that their target population is African Americans, injection drug users, and their sex partners. I myself am a recovering addict, and also I was a former IV drug user. And I too am infected with HIV, where at this point I have full-blown AIDS. But that's what attracted me to it, the way in which African Americans perceive the disease or the infection as a whole. And I thought that maybe I could make a difference in relaying the information and, you know, propagating the, getting rid of the old myth that, you know, infection equals death. Infection equals